بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على خير خلق الله نبينا محمد النبي الأمين صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. For tonight's lecture, inshallah, we will talk about important facts about Zakat. A lot of people have been calling me and asking questions about the Zakat. Last year, I had like series of classes about the Zakat in details about everything. But this year, inshallah, we're going to highlight the most important things and most important questions that people ask about the Zakat. So inshallah, we hope to finish tonight. If not, inshallah, we finish the important facts about the Zakat in tomorrow's lecture, bi'idhnillah. The most important thing, ya ikhwani, to understand about the Zakat is two things. Two things has to be understood in order for you to be good in the Zakat, in the way to and how to calculate the Zakat. Because any money you have, the Zakat is not wajib in that money except if two conditions are valid. Two conditions must be valid, must apply to the money you have, so then you pay the Zakat out of that money you have. Bulugh al-nisab wa al-hawl. Bulugh al-nisab meaning that the money you have, it has to reach a certain amount, a legal amount that the Shara', the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, if you have it, so then you have to pay the Zakat. Now, any money that you have to pay the Zakat out of it. We have money that are considered not qualified for the Zakat because the money is less than the legal amount of the Zakat. It's less than the nisab. So the nisab, how much money do I have? How much money I have to have in order the Zakat to become obligatory upon that money, or to pay the Zakat out of that money? So the nisab is 20 mithqal, which equals 85 grams of gold. That's in gold, because during the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, no currencies. They just have gold and silver. So you have to know the price of the gold in the market, alaykum assalam, in order to know the legal amount for the Zakat. And alaykum assalam. As we know, the price for the gold changes. Every single day it changes. So you have to know 1 gram, how much is it? And you have to do that using the pure gold, the one that's 24 karat. 24 karat. So as of today, 1 carat of 24 gold, 1 gram of gold, and the tab of the gold is 24 karat, is 40.73. So you multiply it by 85, and the total amount is 3,462 and some changes. Okay? But it's a little complicated. A lot of people cannot understand this. If you do not understand it, that's fine. What I want you to understand is that the legal amount of the Zakat always in the range of 3,300 to 3,500. That's based on the gold price in the market. Sometimes it goes down, sometimes it goes up. Inshallah, clear, akhwani. So usually the legal amount for the Zakat, you must have at least, you have to have at least 3,300 or more to pay the Zakat out of the money you have as saved money. So this is clear, inshallah. If someone has $500, there is no Zakat for that money. $3,000, no Zakat for that money. 3,300, there is Zakat for that money. And going up, 5,000, 20,000, 20 million, you have to pay the Zakat. So this point, inshallah, is clear. The first condition is that the money to reach the legal amount of the Zakat, an-nisab, which is the price of 85 grams of gold. Usually, it's in the range of 3,300 and 3,500. Okay, you have it now. I have 5,000, for example. Is more than the legal amount, so I have to pay the Zakat. Now, just having the legal amount make it as an obligation upon you to pay the money out of the Zakat, out of the money you have, you must keep it for 12 consecutive months. So 2 conditions. Okay? Having the legal amount or more, and then keeping that as saved money for 12 consecutive months. So, it is May now. Okay? Let's say I have saved money at $6,000. So, if I keep it, not going below 3,300. Okay, from today all the way till next year May, so I have to pay the Zakat out of that money. For some reason, if that money decreases, let's say it's 6,000 today, after 2 months it goes down to 2,000, so you stop counting the 12 consecutive months, so it stops. Whenever you have the legal amount again, you start counting again. So, an example, I have 6,000 as of May. All right, today is the 31st of May. I have 6,000. Alaykum salam. So, it's 6,000 all the way till July. In July, I have to buy some stuff, so it goes down to 2,000. So, no zakat. And I don't have to pay the zakat next year in May. So, the 12 months stops in there. Okay? So, after that, let's say in October, Allah bless me and I save 3,300. So I start counting from October, not from May. Okay? So we have to understand these 2 points in order to understand the zakat in general. If you don't understand these 2 points, you can't understand the zakat. Because a lot of people have confusion. I have to pay the zakat. I'm making money, I'm working. Not everybody who's working has to pay the zakat. You have to have that money as saved money. And then also you have to keep it as saved money for 12 consecutive months. Not going under the legal amount of the zakat. Okay? Because if someone is making a lot of money, let's say someone who makes 50,000 a month, he's making a lot of money, but he has a lot of debt. He has to pay debt. So he gets it in the beginning of the month. Before the end of the month, he has spent it all. He doesn't have to pay any zakat because he has spent all of the money. He doesn't have any saved money for 12 consecutive months. So this is clear, inshallah. So this is very important to understand the nisab and also the 12 consecutive months. So if we understand these 2 points, we can understand the zakat. And usually, as I said, the legal amount for the zakat ranges in between 3,300 and 3,500 based on the price of the gold in the market. And when we talk about the zakat, a lot of type of wealth, we have to pay the zakat out of it. If you are a farmer, having a farm and having fruits and vegetables and seeds, you have to pay the zakat out of that, but we don't want to talk about it because nobody does such job. So there's no point of talking about that. And also, bahimatul an'am, if you have cattle, camels, sheep and cows, if you have them, if you shepherd and you own them, so then you have to pay the zakat out of them, but none of us is a shepherd. So there's no any point of talking about it because the time is so short. So inshallah we're going to focus on zakatul dhahabi wal fidda, the gold, because we have a lot of women having it and wearing it. And also we're going to focus on the money you make. Most of us do jobs, have jobs, and they get salary weekly or every 2 weeks. And some of us do business. So I'm going to talk about the person who's making money as a salary and someone who's making money from his own business, inshallah. So when we talk about the regular income you make, when you are having a job and you get paid every single month or every single week, weekly or every 2 weeks, they pay you. So that money, if it does not reach the legal amount of the zakat, you don't have to pay the zakat out of it. So let's say I'm making 3,000 a month and my expenses is 3,000 a month. No zakat for me. I receive it and I spend it. So I don't have to pay any zakat. But let's say I have some savings plans. I get $3,000 and I save $1,000. The first month, let's say it's May, I save $1,000. So no zakat, it's 1,000. It's not yet 3,300. You following with me, inshallah, because it has not yet reached the legal amount. So in June it's going to be 2,000. Okay? No zakat. In July it's going to be 3,000. No zakat. It has not yet reached 3,300. In August it's going to be 4,000. So there's zakat. I have to start counting from August all the way to August of next year of 2018. If I keep it in the legal amount or more, I have to pay the zakat out of it. If it goes down, whenever it goes down, so the 12 consecutive months stops. Okay? Inshallah, wadah ya ikhwani. If you have any question, you can ask me. So, as someone who's making money, you have to save the money. If you're not saving none of your money, you just get it and spending it all, there's no zakat. You don't have to pay any zakat. You don't have to pay any zakat except the sadaqah, the general sadaqah. Because the difference between the zakat and the sadaqah, the zakat is obligatory, mandatory. It is one of the pillars of Islam. Sadaqah is something that not obligatory, but we always are encouraged to give sadaqah. What I'm talking about is the zakat, the obligatory charity. Yes.
So in August you have $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
By October you have $8,000.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about how you calculate it. Maybe by next year you have $12,000, right? So you divide 12 because the zakat amount is 2.5%. How you get it? By dividing whatever number you have, whatever figure you have by 40. So let's say next year I have $12,000 divided by 40, and the result is the zakat you have to pay.
So if you have whatever you have above the legal amount, you don't need to count the 12 months from that point. You just
From the moment you have the legal amount,
right.
it's going to keep increasing or decreasing. What matters is not to go below the legal amount.
Right.
Okay, so it's 6,000, 7,000, 7,300. You may use 1,000, 6,000. Still within the same. You know, it's in the it's above the legal amount. So whenever you finish the year, so whatever you have, you divide it by 40, and that's going to be 2.5 of the money. Inshallah, clear. Barakallah fi. So, alaykum assalam wa rahmatullah. Okay, so this is for someone who is having a job and he is getting salary every single week or every single month. This is how you pay your zakat. And then when we talk about someone who does business, someone who has his own business, let's say you have a store. Okay, you have a store and you have goods that you buy and sell. Okay, the zakat you cannot how to say it, the money that you are making, not all of it, or whatever you have in the store, not all of it should be included in the zakat. So any equipment you have that there's no zakat. So if you have a machine, for example, to cut the meat, no zakat. Okay, if you have a truck, you know, so no zakat in the price, in the value of the truck. So what you need to know is the profit that you make out of the business after knowing all of the expenses, paying all of your expenses. So the profit you make plus the goods you have in your store. When I say the goods you have in your store, whatever you buy and sell. Whatever you buy and sell. So let's say I open the business today. Alaykum assalam. I open the business today. And by the end of the month, I make a profit of 1,000. Okay, I make a profit of 1,000. And also the total amount of the goods that I have in my store is 500. So no zakat, because it has not yet it has not yet reached the legal amount. Okay, so let's say after 2 months, I made $3,000 as profit, and the total value of the goods I have in the store is 3,000. So that's 6,000. It has reached the legal amount. Okay, so from that point on, you're going to keep counting the 12 consecutive months, and it has to stay in the legal amount range, not going down, staying in there or going up. Okay, so after 1 year, you calculate how much I have. Let's say I have as profit, I have 20,000, and the goods I have in the store is for 20,000. So you have the profit is 20,000 and the goods is 20,000. So 40,000, you divide it by 40, and whatever is the result, that's the amount of the zakat that you have to pay. And then we talk about the houses. If you have a house, if you own a house. So having a house, it goes into two categories, either for use or for business. So the house that you have for use, no zakat. Let's say I have a house for 9 million. I don't have to pay the zakat out of it because I'm living in that house. So no zakat. It doesn't matter how much the house value is. Okay? If I have multiple houses, but not for business, not for rent, I have a second house and my brother is living there, I'm giving it to him for free, and I have a third and a fourth house, and I'm giving that for people fi sabilillah, as sadaqah. So no zakat due on that property, because it's not for business. And then you could have a property for business. When you have a property for business, it goes into two categories also. Either you buy it to rent it, or you buy it to sell it. Okay? People that buy houses, they do the real estate business. Either to buy and sell, you get the house for 100,000, then you make profit out of it, you sell it for 120,000, you make 20,000 as profit, or you buy it and rent it. So you keep making money monthly. So if you buy the house to rent it to people, the zakat is due on the amount of the rent you make, not in the total value of the house. Let me give an example. Today, I purchased a house for $100,000. Tomorrow, I rent it to someone for $1,000 a year, for $1,000 a month. The rent is $1,000 a month. Okay? After 1 month, how much money I have? $1,000. After 2 months, I have $2,000. After 3 months, I have $3,000. After 4 months, I have $4,000. So that has reached the legal amount of the zakat. I have to pay the zakat out of it. So from that moment, I start counting. I'm talking about the rent money I'm making from the house. So after a year, if the rent money did not go below the legal amount, Ikhwani, those who came late, the legal amount, we have to understand two things about the zakat in order to understand the zakat in general. You have to know that the money has to reach the legal amount. You have to have a minimum of 3,300. So then you have to pay the zakat, and also you have to keep that money in that range or more for 12 months. So I have the house, I bought it today, rent it out to someone. Next month I have 1,000. The following months I have 2,000, then 3,000. In the fourth month I have 4,000. Okay, so that has reached the legal amount. I have to pay the zakat out of it. From that month I start counting. Next year in the same month I have to pay the zakat of the rent money I have made, provided that the total money did not go below the legal amount of the zakat. Okay, so let's say the year finished having 6,000 of it. Maybe I'm using some of the money, buying some, spending some of the money. I have 4,000 in the fourth month. Then the next month I have 5,000, but I use 500, so it's going to decrease, but it has not go below the legal amount of the zakat. Still, the 12 months still keep on going. Okay, so after 12 months, I divide whatever I have, whatever has been accumulating by 40, and the result is the zakat that I have to pay. Okay, but I'm not talking about the value of the house. So the house value is 100,000. I'm not going to include the 100,000. No. I'm not going to pay the zakat out of the 100,000, which is the total value of the house. No zakat for that. The zakat is due in the rent money that I'm making. So this is clear, inshallah. And someone else could be purchasing property to sell. He buys and sell. Okay? So if someone is doing such business, we're going to care about the total value of the house. So let's say he buys and sell. So at the end of the year, we have to see how many houses he has and how much the total value of the houses. So let's say he has 5 houses, each house 100,000. So we have $500,000. Divide that by 40. The result is the amount of the zakat that he has to pay. Clear, إخواني? If anything is not clear, raise your hand and ask a question. لو في شيء غير واضح يا إخواني ارفع يدك واسأل. Okay, so that when we talk about the property, and something that people always ask about, which is the gold that women has, if they have it as personal item to use it, not to sell it or whatever, so there's no zakat on it. Whatever gold women have at home, they wear it, that the zakat does not apply to it. No zakat applying to that. So in summary, the most important thing to understand about the zakat is that any money you have, two conditions has to apply to that money in order for the zakat to be as an obligation in that money. You have to pay the zakat out of that money. Number one, the money has to reach the legal amount of the zakat, which is an-nisab, and that is 3,300, that or more. And also, once you have that money, you have to keep it in that range or going up for 12 consecutive months. And then you have to pay the zakat out of it by dividing it by 40, and the result is 2.5%. Okay? If you have any confusion about how to calculate your zakat, see me, and inshallah give me your figures, and I will work it out for you and let you know how much you have to pay as zakat for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. نسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يبارك لنا فيما سمعنا وصلى اللهم على نبينا محمد.